So we talk a lot here at Keystone about what we do in the real estate industry, especially how we need to be able to adapt in the residential market. But today we're going to focus on commercial. I do about 20% of my overall business year to year in the commercial market. I enjoy it. It is a long runway, but if I was just doing commercial, I would still chance to make probably 25 to 30% more every single year than what I do in real estate itself. Now, I really love the commercial market, but my residential market is where my people are. This is my family. This is where I grew up in real estate. Business brokering is where I got my start. So then when I went into residential, it was just a whole lot easier for me to be able to kick off and have a good conversation. But the thing that a lot of people don't consider with the commercial market is all of the commercial folks that you're dealing with also have a home. So they need not only someone that they can trust from where they're going to relocate and potentially set up shop for their business, but they need to be able to have a real estate agent they can trust to do the residential as well. Coolest part about being a consultant with Keystone is we get to spread our wings as big as we want. We get to change our business. We need to take some risks occasionally and try new things. We do some fix and flips. We do some property management. We do some commercial space. We do quite a bit of international efforts. Internally, we are educators, we're teachers, we are activists, we are political vandals, if you will. We like to dabble in a little bit of everything. In our industry, in the last 12 months, we've done everything from barn-dominiums to high-rise condos to hotels in South America. It's a great industry, but for you to be able to capitalize on the commercial side, which is what we're going to focus on today, kind of need to know how to even get in the industry. How do you get your foot in the door? So that's where we're going to focus. Hope you enjoy the show. For all of you that are joining us new today, I'm seeing some new faces. I'm seeing some new numbers on our YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you soon. So commercial real estate itself, it's a pretty dynamic industry. It allows us to help business folk find that perfect location where we're going to look to be able to switch from residential real estate or making a new career change entirely. Commercial real estate agents offers a lot of opportunities for growth and financial success. Suppose you're ready to embark on that commercial real estate journey. Well, in that case, I'm going to walk you through those essential steps. We're going to get you ready for the real estate market. We're going to explain exactly what a real estate commercial agent does and what your responsibilities are to your client. So let's start from the beginning. What is a commercial real estate agent? Commercial real estate agent specializes in helping clients buy, sell, or lease, and even manage on occasion properties for business purpose. Unlike residential real estate agents, those who deal with homes and apartments only, the commercial real estate field focuses on properties like office buildings, retail spaces, industrial complex, and multifamily housing units. Those agents that dabble in the commercial market play a crucial role, and those that do it full time identify properties that meet needs for businesses all over the United States, including the U.S. government. Different types of commercial real estate offices I mentioned, these are utilized by startups, scalable businesses, a lot of medical office buildings here in the state of Florida. There are retail office space. These are for grocery stores, boutiques, strip malls, restaurants, big box change, or even banks. On the industrial side, we've got manufacturing plants, warehousing, distribution centers, factories, and with our current government spinning up such a market towards the manufacturing space, this is a good angle for you to know that field and understand that there are going to be lots of new opportunities coming into that. Multifamily, always plenty of room here. Residential space consists of anything more than 5 units is considered multifamily in the state of Florida. This would be like an apartment complex or an apartment building, or even residential co-op spaces that use high-rise condos, for example, where it's residential on the top and it's commercial spaces along the bottom for shops and convenience stores, etc. Hotels, those are my fun run. Those are the ones that take so much time and energy out of me during the day. These are everything from extended stays to full service hotels, limited service hotels and Airbnb splitters, and budget tier available. A lot of these beachside hotels that I like to dabble in have not only a full high-rise opportunity for space, but they also do an Airbnb and even a cabana closer to the beach. And then you've got mixed use, right? These are the flexible configurations. These attract a variety of long-term lease tenants. And we see a lot in Florida, a lot of these distribution houses that just have trucks on one side and storage space on the other. Whether you're finding that prime real estate location for a new store or you're negotiating lease terms towards a triple N service for office space, or even facilitating an investment opportunity for large-scale commercial development, a successful commercial real estate agent has got to possess a deep understanding of market trends, property valuations, zoning laws, and have to be unequivocally organized above and beyond anything else that they do in their business. The skill set that's essential for successfully navigating a complex transaction, securing a favorable term for a client, maximizing each and every deal's value and where it's going to make profit. And that's the name of the game in commercial space, profitability and space for shop and footprinting. So let's talk a little bit about commercial versus residential agents' salary, for example. If this is something you're intrigued in, maybe money is the turning point for you. The income is probably one of the most important factors for most of the agents that I have business dealings with when they evaluate and when they consider their career in the commercial real estate space. Both the commercial and the residential real estate agent have opportunities to make substantial salaries. And in the state of Florida, it's a very strong market. However, these roles' income structures and the earnings potentials do differ significantly. A commercial real estate agent will typically offer a higher commission than what you're dealing with. They negotiate against higher commissions because they have larger senses of liability and responsibility. But they do also allow a more complex navigating space for the transaction. So there's a lot more community conversation. There's a lot more transactional conversations that are going to happen in between vendors. So you may actually do less transactions total as far as closings themselves, but the amount of money that you can make is probably upwards of 25 to 30% more than a successful real estate agent on the residential side. If we're going to talk about national average, I made sure to pull up those numbers early this morning. The average nationwide salary for an agent is about $90,000. However, if you're looking at the ZipRecruiter reports, residential agents, and these are successfuls, this isn't just the average space. Successful real estate agent averages about $87,000 a year. Average commercial agent ranges around $125,000. So choosing between these two, if it's to align against your skills, your interests, your career aspirations, the deciding factor may just be it's a lot more work to get a transaction done, but I can close fewer transactions throughout the year, concentrating my energies on less quality of client space. And your advertising and marketing folks, you're going to understand this better than most. Commercial agents don't have to go out and advertise themselves and advertise their listings as heavily and spend a lot of energies marketing in between an MLS. The commercial space has its own kind of domain. And if you're doing 2, 3, 5 deals a year, you're only dealing with 2, 3, 5 clients in a year as well. And it's a whole lot easier for some of your agents to manage, less of a customer workload. Let's talk about what the differences are for commercial too. Supplementally, deal size and volume. The commercial real estate deal will always involve larger property, higher transaction values, and this leads to, of course, higher commissions. Despite the lower percentage rates that people feel like you're going to make, the residential deals are more frequent, but they're always going to be smaller in size. So you need to understand that although I'm going to only do 3 commercial transactions, when we're talking of above 6% and above $1 million for every single transaction we do, it's very easy for me to make my end of the year expectation and my goals. Transaction frequency is the other thing that I had mentioned. A residential agent typically has to handle more transactions throughout the year, balancing lots of different customers, lots of different attitudes, lots of different swings in mood. That kind of frequency will absolutely affect their earnings and their cash flow consistency. Also, residential realtors go through probably 50% of their hot clients, their hot target leads, and actually only close half of those. Where a commercial market, are going to be able to focus holistically on a property and be able to really take care of the singular customer needs that are necessary to get them opened up in business. Commission rates. Let's talk about that for just a minute, because although commercial and residential are still all very negotiable, the residential market is struggling a little bit with how they're having the commission conversations, not only on the listing side anymore, but also on the buyer side. The commercial world has always had that. It has always been open negotiations on the moment of initial conversation. Typically, the buyer of a property is expecting that they're going to have to pay their agent's commission because of the amount of time and liability that goes into it. So there's really, outside of having a conversation with the seller to see if they're willing to cooperate and to use that as some money they can move on different side of the balance sheet, it's always been an easier conversation to talk about commissions. Now, residential agents typically earn 5 to 6% on the average, based on their negotiating capability and the skill set that they bring to the table, where a commercial side will typically be between 1 to 3%, but such a larger deal size on the commercial space, dollar for dollar, it's very, very different. When you're talking about larger deal sizes in commercial space, I'm talking about a minimum of, $1.5 million for the type of properties that we typically represent. And for a hotel chain, between 15 and 80 million, depending on what we need to do. So even if I was only to negotiate 1% for myself, which I do not, I am an expensive consultant. I have a lot of business under my belt, and my clients understand that they are willing to pay for my services. I go above and beyond the average agent. So I earn typically far above the 1% average that I was just talking about. And as you earn your salt and gain your worth in the market, that word of mouth will go unchallenged. Market condition. We need to talk about that too. I could say this in residential as well. If you're in a strong residential market, you typically will have a comparable commercial market. Conversely, if the area is struggling, if it's difficult for people to live there, if it's expensive for people to live in certain areas and they don't have a very good residential market, you're going to struggle in the commercial space. Lots of turn for business and lots of turn for business ownership, but you're going to deal with a heavier leasing market in the commercial world versus the buyer's market. So both roles are influenced by market conditions, but the commercial real estate, please remember, is going to be more sensitive to economic cycles, business investment changes, the local, state, and federal governments making adjustments and making investments into certain types of industries will drive the commercial space. I have to listen to an insane amount of political structure and political conversations throughout my week and my day-to-day because I need to know which way business is heading. Where are business operatives, big players, moving money throughout the local facilities so that I know the kind of customers that I need to be approaching and who should be expanding in certain markets. Right now in Florida, medical's a big winner. We do not have in the state of Florida a large industrial footprint. So if you're looking to get into power, oil and gas, those kinds of things, most of that kind of stuff is administered either by the state or they are administered offshore by major corporations already. And they essentially lease space to do their oil and gas and their refinery practices. So they lease public lands for those kinds of things. So focus on where you're seeing lots of movement, which is why I tell you either the hotel and the hospitality space, bars and areas close to the beach where people can hang out because we have such a large percentage of people that visit the fine state of Florida. They need places to go and things to do and places to hang out. So that's the kind of space you want. You want restaurant space. You want bar and grill, mixed use. vacation or resort style properties where people can enjoy their time in the state of Florida. And then, of course, you've got specialization and experience. Both residential and commercial agents with specialized knowledge are going to need a strong network, extensive experience, and they're going to need a consistent learning to keep themselves energized. Commercial real estate agents, particularly, are sometimes rewarded financially when they develop expertise in that specialized niche, just like we do in the residential side. In the commercial side, you can differentiate yourself very easily by being a specialist in hotels or hotel management and those types of services. So how do you become a commercial real estate agent? What's the change? What's different than being residential? When you're ready to really learn to get into commercial real estate, there are some steps that you want to do to establish yourself in the industry.